Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach Today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB, and I am super pumped that you're here today. It is Monday, December 19th, 2022, episode 4819, and we are ready to go. I mean, this is our time. I love this time. I've mentioned it for years and years of doing this for the past 17 years, is that back when I was in corporate, everybody would be going on vacation. And I would be too, but I would be spending time getting myself organized for the next year. And that's what led me to really becoming free and breaking away from all of that to what I wanted to do, to build the life that I wanted, because I was using time that other people weren't using to kind of get organized, right? And really get myself where I needed to be mentally to make the next year better than the year before. And every year, that's been the progression. It just gets a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And that's that 1% improvement that we're looking for. And so why I'm so excited is because this week we're going to get into our systems and really start working on it. Today we're going to talk about technology, and we're going to talk about the system needs within the frame of our system. And we're going to talk about how technology can aid and help you. Again, not so worried about picking the right, the Remarkable 2 or the iPad or using Evernote, but making sure that we've got a system ready to go, and just so excited about that. Tomorrow we are reviewing Dave's book, Dave Maxfield, who is a member, Up Your HRV. The reason I like this book, we're going to do part 2. This really has to do with health and exercise. So it's a great time to be thinking about those New Year's resolutions and what we can do to get our health better. Wednesday, can AI help? This is a weird one. We're going to talk about how we use Jasper and artificial intelligence. We're going to have some fun. We're just going to step back a little bit, take a little mental break. But I got some homework for you. Thursday, going to answer your questions if you've got some, and we've got them coming in on the plan. We're going to stick with the plan this week there. Friday, then, we get into how technology can help you with your plan. Again, we're going to spend a little more time with tech. Saturday's Christmas Eve. Can you believe it? It's already here, Christmas Eve. And then Sunday, obviously, is Christmas. So it's a big week. It's going to be a lot of fun. But, man, I just got to tell you, let's utilize this time properly. As everybody else kind of checks out, let's check in to our life. And really get ready to, for lack of a better term, kick ass. Make 2023 our best year ever and live our best life. And there's things that we got to do in order to do that. There's things we got to give up, and there's things that we got to go after and make happen. And understanding our plan is going to really help us make those decisions. By the way, I was planning to go to CES. YouTube is part of my big plan for next year, and CES is a big part of that. Make relationships, get out there. And I can't go. It's unfortunate, but we just got the TVs up in the room. The Lincoln table is coming Tuesday. My priority is you and our coaching and my retreats, YouTube secondary. And so understanding the plan and looking at the plan is like, okay, I can't afford that week right now. I'm kind of behind. There's a lot of things I need to catch up with. And it's because of, there's a lot going on, and it's okay. It's okay. As disappointed as I am, I'm proud of the fact that I can say no when a project gets in the way, okay? And that's where YouTube is a project, but it's not a key project at this moment. What it is building a retreat center, and then what will happen is it will move into YouTube because I'll be able to do videos in all these different locations. It's complicated, but it's part of the plan, and being able to say no is so important sometimes, even though it's so frustrating. I want to get out of this cold. I want to go to Vegas. I want to hang out with some cool people, but it is what it is. So my next trip's Cabo, which will be a vacation, and I'm not missing that one. But let's get into system needs today. Enough about me. Let's get into system needs today and talk about what are the things that we really need. Well, the first thing is we need a to-do list, right? And I don't want to go through our single sheet because we have a sheet, we have the journal. I don't care if you do the handwritten journal that we have. You can go on Amazon and grab those, whether you're using your Remarkable 2, your paper device, your Supernote, your iPad, whether you're using Evernote, and the new templates that have been created. We have a sheet that gives this, but there are certain things within there that I want to hit that are really important, and the first one is to-do. So if I can get you to do only one thing this year, and that is to get organized every morning and prioritize your to-dos. That's really what the Sacred Six book was all about, right? And it's really the foundation of what we're doing together here. is really helping you prioritize so you can say no when you need to. And that to-do list is so critical. So you may be surprised to find out where my daily to-do normally is. It's in the planner. Yes, I kind of mark it down there. But the first thing I do is after I walk Neo and I do my exercise and I sit in the sauna and I get my head right and I meditate, is I work on the Quilla, which is just an electronic whiteboard. And I write down the things I need to do every day. It's what I do. I do it Saturdays and Sundays. And I like to see it. So you may be thinking, oh, but that's not how the planner works. No, it's not about how the planner works. It's about how you work. What is the best way for you to work? And for me to be able to look at the to-dos and see them on the board makes it work really well for me. Now, why that can happen is because I do know the plan. I've worked the plan. I'm in the front manner of the planner, and I'm really organized, so I know what I need to do. And that way, when I wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, this is things I need to do. And I can leave some stuff on the board from the day before, so I don't have to keep it in my head. So I like a board. That's me. That's where I like it. Do I also have it in my planner? Yeah, once in a while I'll put it in there, but that's where I put my to-dos. So where are your to-dos going to hang? Where are the things that you're going to accomplish today? Those tasks that need to get done, where are you going to put those? That's the first thing. Second thing is the note system. Now, the note system is interesting because I do it a couple different ways, and I'll share with you. Again, there is no right or wrong. It's just figuring out what are you going to keep your notes? How are you going to be consistent with it? The first thing is I love handwritten notes. When I do Inner Circle and I do retreats, I want to have handwritten notes in front of me, okay? And that's why I use the Remarkable 2. It just works. It's a great little device to write down. So when you come to a retreat and we're working on you and we've got your stuff there, I'm taking notes on what I need to do to make those 3 days the best day possible for anybody that comes on a retreat so they can leave and live their best life. That's just how I am. I don't care if it's an ILD retreat, if it's a spiritual retreat, or just a break retreat, in our pause and our push, pause, play. But I need to know, and I'm not going to sit there on a computer. I'm just not going to do it. So I use handwritten notes for a lot of things. When I go to masterminds, I use handwritten notes. Yes, I use technology. I use the Remarkable 2, but it's handwritten. It's not typed in. Now, here's the big picture. I then use Evernote for everything else. I'm talking about changing baking soda in the refrigerators to car maintenance on the Corvette or the truck or on the BMW. All those things are all in my Evernote. And I keep track of so much in Evernote, like it's a master file system. So, for example, I told you I'm sad I had to cancel CES, but it was so easy, it took me 5 minutes. Why? Because I had a folder that said, 2023 CES, and I had my flight in there, all my information, had one I could cancel, one I needed to know, when the decision, I was all there. It was there. Just pressed a button and went to the website, Southwest, boom, canceled that flight. They refunded back. I always use Business Select because I can cancel because I do have so much going on. And then I went to the hotel, clicked the button, and canceled. It was that simple. Why? Because it was all structured in my notes. So note systems are really important. And again, there's a million ways you can do it, but you got to find what works for you. And that's my system, okay? So, and I actually put my to-dos in Evernote some days when I'm really fired up and I'm using that system. But for notes particularly, that's where my long-term storage goes. Okay, anything that I need to scan, any PDFs, anything that I need to find, that's what I use. And I tag it and I use their system. And I like it. It is going to be interesting, though, just a little caveat here. They were purchased. I think it's going to be a good thing, but we don't know yet. Anytime management changes, we kind of have to see what happens with it. So it's going to be interesting. Your calendar. I got a couple weak areas in my system. Calendar is a weak area just because of who I am. I don't like stuff on my calendar. I want to be free. I want to lead by example. And so I'm not great with calendar management. But I do have a calendar and I use Google Calendar. But, pretty much I think everybody's using an Apple or Google, but you got to pick your calendar. Your journal. This is another interesting one. Okay. All of these are interesting because it's all up to the individual. Again, handwritten journals are great. I'm talking about real physical handwritten journals. Right now, the reason I got to cancel CS, I don't have my office set up. I got my monitor set up. I got a desk, but you should see my desk right now. It's a mess. I don't have any bookshelves. I've got stuff in bins. I mean, I've got probably 2 to 3 weeks of work, and that's why things keep scaling a little bit, scope creeping on me a little bit with this big adjustment, and it's okay. But I also understand that there's certain priorities that I got to do. But I personally love a handwritten journal. I love it, like in a real nice case in a journal with a pen. And I'm probably going to get back to that now that I'm finally nesting a little bit, right? But that's a great way to do it. But you can do it a lot of different ways. I keep a journal in Evernote, which is more my health journal. We're using Dave Maxfield's book, Up Your HRV, to kind of get us on our health kick. And so I track my HRV in Evernote. That's where I keep my metrics. And so I have a journal that's not really an emotional journal, not a mental health journal, but it is a journal. So journals can be a bunch of different things. It could be mental health. They could be just things you're doing. I started years ago writing in a notebook, a little green notebook. I called it the Success Journal, and I'd put the date up there, and I would write. One thing I would suggest is always put a memory reminder in there, like I was watching this football game or this happened or some type of something that can jog your memory, so that it kind of brings you back when you go back and look at that journal. I love to go look at my own journals, but you need a journal. It's part of it. Next one causes a lot of confusion within the community here, and that's a CRM. A CRM is a customer relationships manager system, and people are like, well, why do I need one of those? Because it's so important to keep track of your relationships. By far, relationships will change your life. I mean, they are the most important thing that you can have. I mean, I've got wonderful people in my life, and because of the relationships I've been able to create. Now, it's a weakness of mine. Luckily, Karen, who's put up with me for the last 6 months as I've gone through this transition, has brought me Tracy and Nico, and they're great people. They're doing some pretty incredible things. But this year, I got to utilize those resources a little bit better. And that's something that Karen does, which is amazing. You can delegate some of those things on your list. Find somebody like Karen who has these amazing people, and they can do specific things. And some of you have interacted with Tracy. She's amazing. She does an awesome job. And I need to get her on the CRM a little bit to help me make it better, right? And so it's a weakness of mine. I'm not afraid to say it. It's something we need to get better. I use Active Campaign, which is actually our email source too. It's where you get the newsletter on a weekly basis from us. But I need to do a better job of the individualization of things that we're going to be creating here. I mentioned we're going to be doing some things with the belt system and stuff over the next couple of weeks. Again, another reason I can't go to CES. But just keep an eye out for stuff. And it's an area we're going to get better with, but something you need to have. Why do you need to have it anyways? Because you don't want to be looking for numbers, and you want to understand the relationships that you're building. You're going to care about the people you're putting in there, and it just makes it better for you. A million systems you can use. You can actually just use your phone. I just want to make sure you have your addresses, phone numbers of people that are important, and they're easy to find. That's what a CRM is, and it can be even stronger than that. Your notes that you deal with customers. I mean, I remember back in aerospace, my first job, I was selling T-53 engine overhaul repairs. You've heard the story. But I used to keep, what made me successful is I used ACT. ACT was a software system, came on CD, you put it on your computer, and I organized all the customers that we had. And what really made me successful was taking all that information and putting notes in there. And I'll never forget, I was using a Palm Pilot. This will date me. And I was in a meeting with a guy, and he said, "You didn't say that." And I go back in my Palm Pilot, and I said, "Look right there, I did say that." And he started laughing, and I got the deal because I was so copious with my notes in my CRM. So understanding your CRM is a really critical thing for those of you in business, and I think for everybody. Your relationship management is so important in life, and that's why it's a big part of our system. Consistency checklist. Let's get some habits going. Let's get some things going. This year, I'm not drinking. I mean, I'm on the path. I'm like, this is it. I'm getting my HRV. Dave's got me all fired up, letting go of that alcohol. I never want to say I'm going to quit because there might be a time I have a glass of wine or something, but man, I am just done with that. Getting 3 or 4 plus drinks. It's time to really get that HRV way high, and that's what I'm doing. So I want to mark that consistency. Again, it's in your journal. Whatever you're using your journal, whether you're using Evernote, just keep track of it in the numbers. I'm actually using the whiteboard for my AF. I call it AF, alcohol free, and I'm tracking that number, right? I'm in the holidays right now, and I think I'm 14 days. So I'm cranking this year. I want to get that up to 365 and more, and that means alcohol free. But I don't want to be guilty if I have one drink. But you know what? We'll see. Alcohol is a weird thing where if you quit drinking, people think you have a problem. It's just a weird thing. I'm doing it for my health reasons to get my HRV up, and that's kind of the metric I'm using. But again, where are you keeping your consistency checklist? Okay, your wins recorder. This one I've done a fair job at this year. Writing down the things that are important. Again, you can use your journal, things that you won. Remember, why are we doing this? This is taught by Tony Robbins and a lot of people before me. But the idea is to get that consistent energy of winning and looking and seeing, because we constantly see the negative. And if we can look at the wins, we're going to see that. We're going to keep the wins. We're going to stay positive. We're going to see that good things are happening, and that's what's key. Okay, so these are some of the systems we got to start working on this week. Okay, we got a big week this week, and it's all about getting ourselves in a place where we can really kick ass. I mean, let's get ready for a great 2023. We got to make sure we got our systems in place. By the way, One other thing, make sure you have your spreadsheets for ILD or however you're tracking financially. A lot of people don't like spreadsheets. For me, the spreadsheet is amazing. If you don't have the ILD spreadsheet, that's something that you do need if you're really working on your finances this year. Just a little bit of a note there. But we're going to be talking about it all this week on really these systems and structure and really getting organized so that we're ready to make 2023 the best year ever. Let's get after it. I mean, really, let's get after it. Put in the work, put in the time now, and you'll thank yourself later as you live the best life you possibly can. All right, I love you. Go have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow right here on morningcoach.com. All right, you made it to the end. That is awesome. Hey, this is a great time to join our coaching program. You know, we've been doing this for years, 17 years, and we've got people all over the world just having tremendous success, and it's a great opportunity to get going. This is a perfect time. We'll give you a warning. We are going to get rid of our trial. We did a trial for a few months for Ignite and Freedom because we believe in the program so much, but starting in January, we're getting rid of it. So this is a great time for you to give it a shot, and all you got to do is go over to morningcoach.com, click that Join Now button, and click either Ignite or Freedom. If you're in business, hit Freedom. If you're in corporate or just trying to figure things out, want a little more organization, then hit Ignite. But just go over and click Join Now. You're going to love it, and we can get right to it tomorrow and every single day, 365 days a year. So go over to morningcoach.com and hit Join Now.